Hey y'all, it's Bailey with Reclaim Grace, and I'm so happy you clicked on today's video. We are continuing to use the new 2026 IOD Winter Collection, but this week's projects, we're doing a little bit of Christmas. I love how all of them turned out. Y'all be sure to let me know which one is your favorite when we get done with the video. We're using transfers and paint inlays. Let's go ahead and get started.
Hey sweet friends, let's get started on our first project. Here I have a long, kind of narrow frame. The artwork is not the best. It kind of looks good from a distance, but we are going to be replacing it. I'm going to remove the old hanging hardware, set it off to the side, and then I'm going to start lifting up those staples so we can remove this art panel out. And as I was running my hands across it, I realized a little piece of the paper was lifting up. So I'm just going to give it a quick sand. I tried to peel the paper off, but I did not want to go down that road. It felt like it was up there other than one little bubble. So after giving it a quick sand, I just wiped it off. And now I'm going to come in with some white all-in-one paint. And I'm going to start painting in some cross-hatch motions on this bottom half area. And this paint is pretty old and thick. One coat was great coverage. Now I'm going to switch to a sky blue color and start painting the top half. Same way, cross-hatch motions. We are going to be coming in with one of the new 2026 IOD winter transfers. This is a Codswold Christmas, and just look at all the goodies on this pad. I love the dogs. Y'all know I love the dog. But I'm going to lay out a little scene right here and just play around with it until I like the way it looks. And then we're going to pick the transfer that's farthest back. So the background is the one that you need to do first, and then you go up from there. We're going to start lifting and rubbing and transferring all these down until we get all of them up there. And look how easy that scene came together. I love it. I love how it's looking so far. But I did feel like our sky needed some clouds. So I'm going to take my white paintbrush and my blue paintbrush and just start dabbing a little each of those colors on the board and blending those together just to give the upper area a little bit more detail and character. But it just kind of felt like it was a little plain Jane up there. Once that dries, I am going to do the same thing to the bottom area, the snow. I'm going to take a paintbrush and dip it in some snow text, but you can also just mix up a white paint with some salt wash and get the same kind of texture to create your own snow mounds. Once that is dry, we're going to seal this piece up with some polyacrylic in the matte sheen. We did use all-in-one paints, but the transfers need to be sealed. Now the frame, there was nothing wrong with the frame, so I'm just going to add some dark or agent wax to freshen it up a bit. Just brush it on and wipe the excess off. Lastly, we're going to start putting everything back together. We're going to put our artwork back into this frame. Then we're going to take our screwdriver and start pushing down those staples to hold the artwork secure. Then I cut out a piece of contractor's paper, and I'm going to use my hot glue gun to run around the edges so we can clean up that back. Then the last step is to add a new hanging hardware. This is a kit I always pick up off of Amazon. I just love the convenience of having different options to choose from. And then we'll take this hanging wire, slide our little collar up there. I like to go ahead and slide both collars up there, but of course it's one per side. You just take the wire, loop it through the D-ring, loop it back through the collar, and then you crimp the collar, and that's what holds the wire into place. Hope that makes sense. You can kind of see better over here whenever I do this side. Other than that, this one is done. Y'all let me know what you think about this one. A project really can be this simple, y'all. We have two frames. This one is gorgeous. The other one is a small vintage metal frame. Let's just make some artwork to go inside these. This one was covered fully, so I'm just going to take my razor blade and cut off so I can get access to that center panel artwork. We're going to pull that out. We're not going to be using that artwork, but I am going to use that piece we scraped off as a backer board. And we're going to get the other one disassembled as well so we can take the glass that came in those and cut out new pieces to go inside them. Then I'm just going to cut them out with some scissors, and then we're going to figure out which transfers will fit best in these frames. Of course, I had to use the puppy dog. I had to. He is just so pretty and cute with his little reef around his neck. Y'all know I love dogs, and he was just the perfect fit for this frame. So we're going to get him transferred on, burnish him well with our hands. And then the second frame, I loved the pair of little sheep right here. So we're going to get them transferred on. I went a little too fast and didn't get one of the sheep's ear, but I just lined it up and repositioned it. Transferred it down, and the ear came off, thankfully. We're going to clean up the glass and start putting everything back together. And legit, that easy, and these are majorly upgraded now. And now I have a gallery wall made from artwork that we created with the new A Colts Walk Christmas transfer pad. Y'all let me know what you think about how these turned out. I think I'm going to price the dog in the gold frame for $18, the sheep in the gold frame for around $10, and then the long artwork for probably $33. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about those prices. Either way, I love how all three of them came out, and they'll all look so great styled together. Our next project here, I have a tin. I picked up on a yard sale. I just really kind of like the shape of it and the size of it. I have cleaned it and I have taken it outside to give it a prime of a flat black spray paint. Just one good coat is going to be enough. I'm going to keep the tin upside down so no spray paint gets inside. And I'm going to do the lid as well. Once dry, I'm going to take it inside my shop, and I'm going to give the bottom container part of our tin a couple coats of a chalk and limestone paint. I believe the name of this color is alabaster. It's just a pretty warm white, and it did take about 3 light coats to get the coverage I was looking for. I am going to leave the lid alone. One thing about this paint is you're going to see brush strokes. So I'm going to come in with some fine grit sand and sponge and just sand back those brush strokes and just stress around the edges a little bit so I can see some of that black peeking back through. That is one of the reasons why I decided to spray paint it black first, so I could get a little bit of distressing. Plus the paint's going to stick better. So now I have the lid on, and I'm taking a lead pencil and I'm going to mark where my lid meets the canister, so I know where I want to start my design. I've grabbed a paint inlay from the new paint inlay set called North Pole Co. I loved this one. I'm going to set the strings of the ornaments right where I had those pencil lines. I'm going to mist the paint side of my paint inlay, and I'm going to come in with my polyacrylic matte sheen as my medium to apply the paint inlay to. Y'all have seen me do this probably 100 times. We're going to put it into that wet medium, rub it well, and then I'm going to lift up the second half of our inlay and do the same exact thing. I chose this inlay specifically because I loved how it was talking about a bake shop. I pictured this holding like some Christmas cookies or baking something for someone and delivering it as a Christmas gift, like that kind of vibe. So I did want to mention that. We have our inlay down. It is fully adhered, no wrinkles, no bubbles. We're going to heat dry it because I'm very impatient. In a matter of maybe 30-60 seconds, it's dry enough that we can remist the top of it, get any excess water off, and then now is the time, the most favoriteest part about inlays, the reveal. You're going to slowly pick a corner and start pulling the paper away from your project. If it ever gives you any resistance, stop, wet it some more, give it a few seconds, and then start back. But y'all, almost a perfect image. Love it. I sprayed a top coat over this area of the inlay to seal it up, and now I'm coming in with my black permanent IOD ink and vintage textured stamp just to give it a little bit more character. I did not want to use milk paint this go round, and I wanted some crackle, so that is a good way to still get that. Y'all let me know what you think about this project. It was that easy, and I love how it came out. I'll probably price this for $27. Moving on to our next project, I have this galvanized tray. I stole it from my mama's house because I envisioned using one of the new IOD products on it, and I just scooped it right up, so it was free to me. We've cleaned it, and we're going to take some shellac and seal up the bottom of this tray because it is a little rusty. I did not want that rust to bleed back through my paint, but we're only going to do that bottom area. We're leaving everything else as is. So I'm taking that same alabaster alchemy color, and we're going to do 2 good coats on this bottom round area as well. Taking my time cutting in around those edges. Once again, we're going to use the new North Pole Co. paint inlay. I wanted to show you the back of this one because look at all those designs. I'm going to go with Frosty's, but the reef would have also been perfect. But since this is a tray, I felt like Frosty's Cafe makes more sense for a tray. So I just added some extra snowflakes to fill in the round base. We're still using that polyacrylic matte to apply our inlay into. I really like to work in sections because the polyacrylic can dry up very quick, and you need to make sure you're putting it down enough product that is going to stay wet for your inlay to transfer into. So once I get the larger design down, I'm going to go ahead and fill in around that design with my extra snowflakes. Now, let's take it off. I'm going to mist all over the surface, give it a few seconds to really soak in, and then very easily pick up a corner and start peeling it back. And y'all, isn't it just like magic? It is just so mesmerizing to peel this back and see the work that you've left behind. I actually wonder what gave IOD the idea to even create this project. product. I meant like paint inlays in general. How did they come up with that idea? Either way, we are going to seal this project up using Sweet Pickins Dark Oil Wax. I have found the inlays do not smear if you're using this product, so that's just genius. I love that, and it's going to give our project a little bit of age to tie it into the rest of the piece. That's it for this project. Y'all let me know what you think about it. Probably price it for $23.
And that is all I have for you today, my friends. I really hope you enjoyed these projects. Definitely let me know which is your favorite down in the comments right now. That really helps my YouTube channel grow just by putting an emoji or comment down there. Be sure to like this video and consider subscribing if you have not already. But I wanted to pop up here for just a second and just give you my gratitude, my thankfulness. I am just so appreciative that y'all chose me to show and support during this IOD release. It is just very humbling, and I just want to say thank you. All of your orders should be headed your way if you placed them last weekend. Still getting caught up on some that was placed at the beginning of the week, but they will be headed your way very, very soon. And yeah, I'm just very, very grateful. Thank y'all for spending your time with me today. I'll talk to you in the comments. Bye.